this the final episode of the Buckland Valley Goldfield. We go deeper underground and re-explore an old favourite of mine at the Red Jacket Mine. This one's a real nautical experience where we find traces of the actual miners that last worked the mine back in 1939. I hope you enjoy this, the final episode of the Buckland Valley Goldfield. Hope to see you real soon. Please like, share and subscribe, and happy exploring, and don't forget to leave a comment. Good on you and cheerio. Stop recording.
During the mid to late 1860s, quartz mining was really taking off on the Buckland Goldfield. Quartz reefs were being discovered and taken up all over the whole field. During this time, a rush occurred to this area of the Buckland known as Clear Creek. Now, from the mid 1850s, this whole tributary was worked in patchy little areas by Chinese and European miners looking for the alluvial gold. But in September 1867, there was a rush of reef prospectors to this area with the discovery of a rich reef known as the Red Jacket up in the hill behind us. This whole flat suddenly was converted from a bare, sparsely open bushland into a thriving hive of little huts and tents as quartz miners came into this area to work the rich quartz reefs. Making our way up to the once famous Red Jacket Mine along a narrow winding path that heads straight up the hillside. Every day these poor buggers of miners had to walk up this steep and winding path before a hard day's work. Jacket Reef was first discovered, a strong company was formed by mining entrepreneurs Gitchell and McLean, and they developed the Red Jacket Reef thoroughly. They actually drove over the first initial years 3 long adits to intersect that Red Jacket Reef and work the rich gold-bearing stone. Now the first crushings were over 2 ounces of gold per tonne of quartz, and that was very good. These fellas were quite excited. Now we're at the number 2 level of the Red Jacket workings, and inside this tunnel are some great personalised features that I want to show you. Now these features I want to show you are well preserved. And there's only one reason why these features are so well preserved, and that's because of this. Very deep water. Laughing, it's your turn, Sean. Here you go. Well, anchors away. Tunnels are driven in for several hundred feet, and the bottommost tunnel goes in for hundreds of feet. The company described putting these tunnels in at the time as a tedious and expensive exercise. It would have cost the company equivalent of 1 to 2 ounces of gold to drive each foot of tunnel. So this company was hoping to find a lot of gold when they hit the Red Jacket Reef eventually. Terra firma. Now the Red Jacket Company produced something like 7,000 ounces of gold from 5,000 tonnes of stone. This is their recorded production though, and they probably produced something like 10 to 20,000 ounces of gold. By the 1870s, however, the company had closed down, probably because of poor yields. Over the years, numerous parties came in and reworked the Red Jacket. The last person to come in and work this mine was Ben Morgan, son of Henry Morgan, back in 1936. And what we're about to show you is evidence left by Ben back in that time. What we've got here are well-preserved hobnail boot footprints, and these are actually left by Ben Morgan in the late 1930s, and we can actually see through here the ironed rim wheel from the wheelbarrow that used to push the gold-bearing quartz out through this drive and outside down below. These are his very last footprints, and they were made in 1939, because in 1939 a disaster happened out on Red Jacket Flat below, which meant that Ben Morgan couldn't be bothered coming back here. We're in a small alcove where Ben Morgan was working, and it's a disused corner of the mine, so he's chucked heaps of stuff that he's not using. What we've got here is we've got an old paper from the late 1930s that he's probably had a bit of a read of, you know, while he's having a rest from work, and he's left it there. And we've also got remnants of an old timber ladder that he's probably handcrafted outside and dragged in to climb up into some old stopes and pull a bit of gold out of. These are very interesting artefacts, and it's great because they've all left as Ben Morgan left them. It's like a time capsule, and this is all here, and no one else has probably been here other than us since Ben Morgan was here in the late 1930s. Number 3 level or bottommost adit of the Red Jacket workings, and this was commenced at some time in the late 1860s, early 1870s by the first Red Jacket Company, and it extends in for several thousand feet behind me, but we haven't got time to go in there now. But later on, when Ben Morgan came here, he dammed it up, and this is part of the dam wall here, and there's another one further up there behind me. Now why would you dam it up? What would you want water for? Well, we show you what Ben wanted water for out here. Outside on the mullock dump here are all bits of scrap metal, and most of them come from a stamp battery. And here's one of the light dies that went in the base of the battery box. Ben Morgan set up a little stamp battery, possibly a 3-head battery that he'd used at all different workings over the years over the Buckland. And this little battery was driven by steam power. This pile of bricks and rocks is actually the base of a vertical boiler that drove Ben's little battery. And you can see bolts and that sticking out, which held the boiler in position. The battery was down there and it's heaps of battery sand. But in 1939, eastern portion of Victoria was struck by bushfires. It was known as Black Friday, and the entire Buckland Goldfield was burnt out during this period. The 1939 bushfires burnt Ben's little battery here and his two-roomed house on Red Jacket Flat below. He and his wife Mary managed to survive the fires, but a lot of the mining camps and that were left here from the 1939 depression were all destroyed. And a lot of the population who were engaged in eking out a living during these depression years decided not to rebuild. And then there was the event of the Second World War that just saw a shifting in the focus of the population during this time. The glory days of gold on the Buckland were over at this point, and ever since then we've hardly seen any mining in this valley since. Buckland Cemetery, and this particular burial ground was established in the 1860s, quite some time after the major typhoid epidemic. The earliest graveyard was on Great Britain Hill, and that was situated near Camp Flat. Another burial ground on the back of Joss House Hill has recently been discovered, and this was the sole Chinese burial ground. There are many burial grounds or lone graves in the Buckland Valley today, many of them unidentified and lost. A bit like those who occupy those resting places, their stories have been lost forever. Today the tranquility of this valley has basically returned. Though every long weekend the gold rush is reenacted, with hordes of tourists making their way up here in their horseless carriages, carrying their synthetic tents. They seek not the riches of the river like the diggers of old, but the rich and dramatic atmosphere of this place, where beneath every rock and in every shadow, down every shaft and in every gully, lurks a forgotten story of those who spent their lives and lost their lives in search of Buckland gold. Broken cognac and whiskey bottles and so on, that shows, you know, they liked a bit of a drink. We've also got here it's a stoneware food vessels and eating things that were stored in them and brought out. But also we've got over here that gives us a great event for this next slide. Is
clean up the mess you just
neck here. Bloody hell. Come on. For those of you, even with a fleeting interest in the history of this valley, I would strongly recommend this book, The Buckland Valley Goldfield by Diane Talbot. It is 256 pages crammed full of fantastic historical stories and accounts, as well as many early photographs and illustrations. You'll have a hard time tearing your eyeballs away from this one.